Hey guys, how's it going? This is Wicked Jelly here again. Like I said, I'm going to come back here and we're going to go ahead and go over the last remaining three characters, and then hopefully get this gameplay walkthrough going here. So we got three characters left. In the last video, we looked at Vorin and Maya. Vorin had a very bittersweet story. Um, really, I don't know. I makes me want to play him because he's just someone you want to root for to hopefully, have something go his way considering his storyline. You got to feel for the guy. And then of course there's Maya. Her story, it was kind of your standard type stuff. I wouldn't say it was, anything really interesting, but she's with the Azure Robins, so maybe that'll come into play in the game. I'm not real sure, but those were the first two, so we got three more to go here, and then we're going to get going on playing this. I'm actually really excited about this. Still haven't got any other games. Shocking. Yes, I know. The expansion that I'm getting for this game isn't supposed to be coming out until, geez, I don't know. It sounds like it's probably going to be like the middle of this year. So, I mean, they've had delays like everyone else, but again, I can't stress enough the level of communication these guys have done. I know they have another project they plan on working on that they're actually holding off on until they get this delivered, which I think is really cool. Because some other companies out there, even though they keep saying how delayed everything is, they keep coming out with more and more games that they want you to back and give the money for, which I personally have a problem with when they haven't even released their other projects yet. But that's just me. I mean, to each their own. It's your money, so do with it as you wish. I can't get behind that, which is kind of a bummer because one or two of them seem like interesting concepts, but I've already shelled out several $100s and I got nothing to show for it yet, except a bunch of promises and this is going on and that's going on and whatever. And some of them don't even communicate that well, except for when they have a new project and they want money for it. Then all of a sudden they're everywhere. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. It's not what this is about. So let's go ahead and take a look at these last three characters. So the first one that we're going to go ahead and do here, this is Lorelei. That's what I'm going with. Part of me wants to say Lorelei, but I'm gonna go with Lorelei. She's an elven mage. She's looking mighty cool there. Don't know about the model. Looks really good. I like the staff. I like everything except for the face. Her face is kind of weird looking. I don't know. Just in comparison to everything else, it just doesn't seem as detailed, but the rest of it looks really cool. Especially the way they did her hair on the back and how the dress is blowing. That's pretty neat. Um, so basically, let's see what her storyline is. Lorelei was born in Lorelon. There you go. The capital city of the Sun Elves of the Espira Islands, and since her childhood, her magical abilities and aptitude were clear. Her parents invested everything in her magical training so that she could become the best mage she could ever be, and in doing so they inadvertently neglected their eldest daughter, Lorena, which would deeply mark the siblings' relationship. Lorelei had access to all elven lore regarding magic contained in the great libraries of her homeland. She got to travel to famous schools in the Aspera Islands and get tutored by masters of the art in distant corners of the land. As she traveled and learned, her power and reputation grew, and she became a prestigious presence in many centers of learning. Her sister, on the other hand, would remain in their home, often isolating herself from everyone. Probably played a lot of Call of Duty and Fortnite. Lorelei blamed her for her inability to rise above the ordinary, and every time they were together, they'd fight and argue about everything, which contributed to the distance that kept growing between the two. One day, returning home, however, Lorelei found her family estate covered by a black, thick substance. She desperately used her magic to try to save her parents, still trapped in this inferno, but when she found them, they were nothing more than aberrant creatures that she had no other choice but to dispatch from this world. She did find, however, her sister glowing with a mysterious dark aura standing near their corpses. Before she could ask her what was happening, Lorena vanished in the shadow, and she was left alone in the collapsing building. Lorelia has searched for her sister ever since to know the true events that transpired in that fateful day. So that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. So maybe they are going to get their storylines involved in the game. I would hope so. I mean, that'd be kind of neat to see her confront her sister and see how all that plays out. So that's kind of cool. I didn't expect that. Um, Interesting. So yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. So that one was pretty cool. So different from Vorin 2. I mean, she dealt with some stuff herself, but totally different. She had the good life, was living large, um, living La Vida Loca, and her sister was pretty much, put to the wayside. And then, which opened her sister up to something apparently, um, getting in with the darkness, I would assume. I'm guessing maybe that's what it has to deal with, is the one of the concepts of this game is the impending darkness taking over the lands as you're going through your adventures. So it sounds like her sister, Lorena, I think they said her name was. It sounds like she went into cahoots with them. So that'll be cool to see how that plays out. Interesting. All right. So this one we have here, he's Jaheen. He's a human cleric. This dude just looks like a badass. There's just no way about it. It's kind of nice to see a cleric that looks like, he can hold his own. He doesn't look dainty. I mean, a lot of times in role-playing games, they kind of, I mean, they're in armor and that, but they always kind of, I don't know. They never seem like to have that tough, brawny look about them, but this guy definitely does. His hammer is ridiculously huge. I love his shield. I love the detail that they did on his shield. Actually, I love the detail with this character all the way around. Even with him stepping on the rocks, that's pretty cool. Once again, not a fan of the face though. Face just looks kind of off to me. But the detail and everything else is great, and that shield looks really cool. That's the type of stuff that makes me wish I could paint. Unfortunately, I can't, but man, if I could, I would really enjoy painting that. If I were to try and do it, it would look like something made by a kindergartner. Um, but anyways, let's see what Shaheen's storyline is. His is very long. Okay. Jaheen was the only son of a famous noble family of the Kingdom of Amira until he abdicated his family and former name. Most of his story is on the back of this card. Kidding. However, is only known to him and his former family, which could never be traced, probably due to a grudge held by their parents, and the will of Jaheen to remain an unknown commoner. What is known of his origin is the story he told the high priest and the counselor at the time, the day he got to Valerai. Wow. Okay. Jaheen had reached Valerai after wandering the lands of Darren as a roaming cleric without an order behind him. According to the report, the man had been following a voice, a spiritual guide that led him to Valerai across the most different places. That sounds kind of weird. Okay. The report also states that Jaheen was not trained by any known order. It was in fact a self-educated cleric, which is almost unbelievable considering his power and technique. Jaheen believed that his mission was not to become a nobleman of Amira. His mission was to save all kingdoms of Darren. The voice had been training him, teaching him and talking to him since he could remember. And when Jaheen was old enough, he left his home, his family, his kingdom, and his name behind to follow his mission. Jaheen had seen on his days on the road how Darren was changing, how the days became slightly darker and slightly shorter. He watched as the people grew colder, and he felt in his soul that a great threat was near. It was then, according to him, that he heard the voice calling him to Valeria, where the forces would gather for the final stand, the last hope for the mortal races of Darren. It was then, upon reaching Valeria and telling his story, that Jaheen joined the doctrine of the setting sun. They became his family and his home. He soon earned the respect of everyone that knew him, though he had no wish to go up the ranks, staying a simple investigator. The evil, according to Jaheen, had no respect nor fear for titles or ranks. The only way to stop what was coming to Darren was with strength, faith, and unshakable courage. Jaheen had plenty of those, and he was hell-bent on crushing all darkness before him until he could make the light of the sun shine again. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see if they say what the voice is, if it really is like some almighty power, something else at work there. Um, Definitely I think, in my opinion, one of the coolest miniatures. I will say that. That really does look neat. But let's go on to the last one here. And this one is Elros, or Elros. Elros? Elros? I don't know. One or the other. He's an elven assassin. He's looking pretty neat. His daggers look a little chunky. A little weird as far as how that goes. He looks really cool though. I like how he's stepping on that little rock with the skull there. That's pretty cool. Um, yeah, pretty good design. I actually like his face. Um, so pretty cool miniature. Just seems a little bit weird with the knives. They seem a little bit on the thick side. But all in all, pretty cool miniature. And he's looking like his badass self. All right, so Elros's life has been marked by strife since his earliest memories. He was found when very young in the shores near Umbral, a shadowy coastal village at the edge of the Dead Trail. Dead. What is that? Dead Iroll. Okay, sorry, I couldn't read that. The most dangerous forest in Darren. Elros has only a passing recollection about his parents, fleeing from somewhere in a refugee ship, but he doesn't remember their names or his own origins. Since he was a kid, this moon elf had to find ways to survive by himself amidst uncaring strangers, which quickly made the young elf turn to petty crimes and thieving. Living in the dark corners of Umbral heightened Elros's stealth and perception, essential traits for an opportunistic thief like himself. Those same abilities soon caught the attention of Hopla, a woman controlling most of the crime in this corrupted port community. Elros was brought under her wing and soon became Hopla's main enforcer, her greatest assassin and agent. Elros's reputation grew to a point where Hopla herself started to see the Moon Elf as a threat to her criminal organization. She betrayed him and confronted him, but she wasn't herself anymore. She was different, talking nonsense about a true king, left with no choice but fight. Elros did what he do best. Man, didn't really look at the needed some editing on this one. Elros did what he do best and overcame his master and lover. Well, that came out of nowhere, but at a great cost. There, broken and bleeding profusely, Elros thought his life would end among the threatening shadows of this ancient forest. But moonlight betrayed the presence of dark figure standing near him. The mysterious shade knelt before him and touched his forehead. Elros remembered only losing his conscience and feeling very cold, awakening afterwards near the edge of the forest, restored. He chose to leave that place as soon as possible, but the memories of Dark Umbral stayed with him forever. So that's all the characters there. So, next time, hopefully we can get started on that playthrough. I don't know how it's going to go. I only have the one camera, but I'm going to do what I can to make sure this goes as cool as possible, and hopefully you have a good time doing this with me. I want to thank you for watching this video, and again, my name is Wicked Jelly, and you take care and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.